Declan also has the dream. The kitchen, the snow, the fire, the heavy-footed man, wakes with a bleat of alarm and sits up, swinging his feet down from the bench. What are they saying? Some broken thoughts. Rubbing his face, he tries to draw the dream out. Is it the dream, or is it a story that all too quickly takes up the images of the dream and makes sense where none had been? Meteors fall in the wood. A fierce black bird with long ears and a snout, with hands instead of talons. A sardonic wild man in a veil. Mnemosem. A misread word that might have come from the book. It might have been a heading at the top of a page and not a complete word. It follows him like a leitmotif, repeating in his mind and not distinct. Whenever he stops, his attention settles decisively on it, yet does not firmly grasp it. It's a word, he thinks, that almost means something else, like an approximate synonym or a modification. He believes it has nothing to do really with memory. It doesn't mean a rememberer or a re-rememberer, but it might mean someone who memorizes but never remembers or re-remembers what is being memorized. Memorizing to forget? An equivalent discipline of forgetting? Do these make sense, or are they just waves, like a wave of the branches, passing over and making a stir, but without changing anything? Declan begins walking. It had the vividness of the presentiment, Declan thinks, the arbitrary quality. But then I've only read about presentiments, haven't I? There was the time I dreamt of her together with... No, not him. But with someone I didn't know, but who might have been him as well as anyone. It's a summons. Or, no, it's not. Yes, it is. It's the call I must have been waiting for. At last. Declan draws out the book again and begins to flip through it. Here's a photograph of a sizable bird standing in stubbly ground, taken from a distance. Nothing else to see in it. Bird of ill omen, the caption says. He's always believed that he thought that he was going to be called to deliver something, a confidential message, important communique, a gift or prize, answer, or something of the kind, and it would begin with a call particularly addressed to him. Only he could recognize it as the call. Who would call, he had assumed he would have known, but that the call should come like this was never ruled out, since nothing at all had been ruled one way or the other about it. The call was supposed to leave no relevant question unanswered, which means that if this is a call, then, therefore, in its bareness and in the riddling Baroque imagery that attended it, it must have answered all relevant questions. After all, what questions would I ask? Do any questions matter? That the dream should appear in my head indicates that I, and not someone else, is chosen. It is plainly from outside my head that it comes, because I can't account for the apparition of such intense and bizarre experiences by the usual means. Could it originate in some quarter inimical to me, and bent on luring me to my destruction? Come now. Anyone capable of projecting dreams could have found a more alluring one than that. But what if an alluring dream was ruled out as obvious entrapment? I repeat that anyone capable of projecting dreams is capable of destroying me at a distance already, and if this is a game, then I should rise to the bait and outsmart my enemy. How do I know that this supposed enemy did not count, for that matter, on my thinking myself cagey so that I would trap myself in not rising to the bait? But there is no enemy, he thinks. Who would want to hurt me? Or I should say, who would bother to go to such lengths to hurt me, when I have done nothing nearly as elaborate to anyone dead or alive? As I reason on the subject, I find myself more and more confirmed in my suspicion that it was a call. The call. He picks up the book again and peers at the waxy photographs, still heavily perfumed with developer. To go there. No doubt, he thinks. I should find myself